Hey boss, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to watch my videos. I really appreciate it and I am grateful for your viewership. So today I really want to talk about tips on how to hire the right talent. And this is very important, and there was some research that even says that hiring the right talent is a huge challenge for CEOs. And there was a study done by Inc. 500, and they did a survey of CEOs and found that this was their number one concern. So again, hiring the right talent is a big problem these days because sometimes we rush into hiring the person because we have a void, we've got to fill it with whatever warm body we have, or the candidates that have applied have not been the right ones. I mean, there are always issues, but it's really important to make sure that you actually have take the time to make sure that you hire the right person. All right. So hey, I'm Dr. Heather Williamson with the Transformation Group, and welcome back to the channel. If you know of other people that are struggling with hiring the right talent, then please share this video. All right, so let's get started. I have some tips for you today on how to hire the right talent for your company. And the first tip I have today is to clearly define your personal values. And what I mean by that is that if you have a company, if you're a business owner or a CEO and you say, hey, yeah, I've got my company values listed somewhere on the company, whether website or in the building on a wall, they have to be in alignment. And they have to be in alignment because these are core beliefs that you have that are pretty much non-negotiable. And I wanted to share just like a few of mine as an example. So if you have a similar core value like me, such as having respect for myself and showing respect for others, another core value would be excellence, striving for excellence. Integrity is another. Being authentic is another core value. So I think it's really important to be who you are and not try to be somebody you're not, because people see through fakeness. And these are just some of my core values that I thought I would share with you to help you in your process of identifying yours. All right. So one way to really understand and kind of get at your own core values is really ask yourself the question, what is, important to me? What makes me feel good? And if you can answer that question in the sense of values, then that will help you understand what your key values are. All right. Now the second the second tip I have for you today on how to hire the right talent is to make sure that those personal core values of yours are in alignment with your company core values. And one of the ways that you can do this when it comes to hiring is to make sure that you ask interview questions that incorporate values in them. For example, let's just say, I had shared that respect is a core value of mine. I always believe in do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So I'm going to show people respect, and you can ask a simple question of, hey, Bob, share with me an instance where you had to share or communicate or show respect for a colleague or supervisor where you did not agree on their approach to a specific business problem. And then you kind of get into understanding where they're coming from and if those values are in alignment with yours and the company. All right. Now, the third actually tip I have for you today is identifying what great talent is. So how do you know what great talent is? Well, one way to do this is to develop a talent strategy. And I think this is a really cool idea because in this talent strategy process, you are going to identify what it is that you want and what it is that you expect from every role within your company. And I said every role within your company. And yes, this is going to take time. I understand. And it's going to be a major pain in the butt. But it will help you tenfold in the long run. And it will help you prevent you making costly mistakes in hiring the wrong person for the role, for the position. All right, so I have actually an example I kind of wanted to share with you of a gentleman by the name of Sean Busey, and I apologize if I did not get that correct, but he is the CEO of Kinesis, and he uses the exercise, My Dream Employee. So what he does is he has himself and his team come up with their idea of a dream employee. And when you think about that, I want you to think about the characteristics, and you can do this on a whiteboard or just, on a sheet of paper. What does that dream employee look like? So think about those attributes. Think about the values that they have. Think about, do they care about others, or, what do they care about? Do they care about building relationships with team members? Do they care about maybe just making money? Do they care about building, making sure that customers are happy and satisfied? So think about those things. Also, think about the skills that might be needed for that dream employee. Now, when it comes to doing this, you're also going to be able to answer some questions. And the questions can be, once I have that dream employee, picture in my mind, what that person looks like, kind of like that avatar that you see on social media these days. What does that person look like? And can they handle complex problems? Can they make decisions? Can they make tough decisions? Or are they going to struggle with it? Or do they do it, with ease? So those answers are going to come out when you identify who and what those characteristics are of that dream employee. And once you do this, also, you now kind of have a template that you can look at those characteristics and compare them to your ideal candidate. Another way to do this when you're thinking about your dream employee is think about who on your current team or who in your organization is your idea of a dream employee. And when you think about that person, think about the characteristics that they have, those attributes, and write them down on a piece of paper and use that as a comparison. And also, when it comes to this, you can use assessments as a tool to help you identify attributes as well. I've done this with companies and have really helped them identify who their top talent candidates are, so they make sure that they are not hiring, a dud. So when it comes to, making sure that your values are aligned and making sure that you identify what great talent is, the fourth tip I have for you today is to get your employees involved in that hiring process. So just to let you know, as typical behavior of people, we like to hang around people who are like us, who share same values, who share same work ethics. So when it comes to, hiring somebody, look inside your own company and, create opportunities for incentives. Like, hey guys, I've got a position coming up, and if you've got somebody that might be a great fit for our company culture, for the role that's available, then, offer them, get them to apply for the position, because you have great employees and you can use them as your kind of hiring process to make sure that you get like-minded people who are, going to work for you. Another tip in using your current employees is to create a committee. And in this committee, you would want to have, for example, let's say you're hiring for a marketing director. You'd want to have some senior level position on the committee. You would want to have possibly a mentor. You would want to have a peer who is going to be working in that department serving on this, let's call it a hiring committee, and use them to help in the process. And the first opportunity that you could do is actually have them hold one-on-one meetings with that potential candidate, where they get to learn more about the individual, and actually the candidate gets to learn more about them as well, to look at cultural fit, attitudes, things like that. Another way you can use the team is to have that potential candidate meet with their potential or possible direct reports. So if you do this, then the direct report gets the opportunity to meet with their possible boss, and the potential candidate gets to meet who their possible staff might be. Another way is to have that potential candidate, that dream candidate hopefully you might have, is to have them create a presentation on whatever topic that they want that kind of is in alignment with the job. And when you do this, you get to see, how much effort they put into planning that presentation, that you get to look at how they communicate, if they're doing it poorly or not, or if they're excelling in it. You also get to see, how are they engaging with you as the committee members. And then, you get to ask the questions afterwards, in your team, in your group, and say, all right, did we engage with that potential candidate? Did the candidate feel comfortable in the environment while they were presenting? So these are some key, awareness that comes out of this process. And then that committee gets to decide, hey, is this person going to be a good fit with our culture, with the team that, we've got established? And really some good discussions come out of it. All right. So think about that top, think about the candidates that you want applying for the jobs that you have. And what process, what strategies do you have in place to make sure that who you end up hiring is going to be the top talent and the cream of the crop? All right. So let's just recap real quickly. So tips on how to hire the right talent. The first is for you to clearly define your values. The second is to make sure that your values are aligned with the company values. The third is to identify what great talent looks like for your organization. And then the fourth tip is to get your employees involved in the hiring process. So hopefully these tips really are going to help you in making sure that the next person you hire is top talent. And hopefully, if you did find value in this, please like the button below. Don't forget to subscribe. And last but not least, go out and be that boss that, one, your employees want to work for, and two, that is going to attract top talent. All right? Bye, guys. Until next time.